This episode of Lunatics Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome phones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you are listening to Vacation the Lunatics Sidekicks Podcast.
I'm here for Peter.
That speaks for itself. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Ultimate Spider-Cast. I am Phil, joining me as always.
Hey y'all, it's Lilith.
Listen to that enthusiasm dripping off that voice. Anyway, we are back tonight to talk part 2 of the Alien Costume Saga from... Well, tonight we're going to be covering Amazing Spider-Man 250 and Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man number 9. Which I believe these are both from June 1984. So yes, Lilith is not born yet, so.
Yay. My favorite time.
Oh, wow. Be rubbing your sunshine all over this podcast.
Sorry.
That's okay. And I think I mentioned it last time, but no Ron Friends discussion at the end of this one because he did not pencil these. So.
But if you do want to check out a Ron's Friends interview, please be sure to go to our YouTube.
That's right. Or like I said, I'll be peppering them through these episodes where he did actually pencil issues. So. All right. So. And you all should be watching all of us stuff on our YouTube and on our podcast because, hey, what else do you have better to do these days?
Well, meanwhile, everybody else gets to, phone it in from home. I got to actually be at work. So,
Me too. I know. I hear you.
The world got coronavirus and all I got was a pat on the back at work for being there. Awesome.
Yeah, me too. We're not fancy people like Charlie Esser who get to sit home all day, work from home like kings.
Anyway, yeah. But these are good issues. They're fun. Oh, there it is.
You enjoy these issues?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. Come on, you make fun of my choices sometimes, but come on, I pick good stuff. Come on. But yeah, the first issue, Amazing 253, is actually the first appearance of the Rose.
Like anybody shares.
Oh.
Fight me, all three of you.
I mean, again, I think if DeFalco had his way and maybe made Ned Leeds the Rose and Richard Fisk the Hawk.
That would be dope and also make more sense. Just saying.
Yeah, because think about it. If Ned Leeds was this masked gang lord, people would be like, "Okay, I get it." Frederick Foswell in the tradition of Frederick Foswell, and later on Jacob Conover. Spoilers, was the second Rose. It's like it makes sense. It would make sense.
Damn editors.
Oh my lord! Could you see people picking in the Bugle? It's like it's like a supervillain factory in there. If Jameson's not paying to create villains like the Scorpion, his employees are just trying to take over the world.
As you do. Look at Fox News.
Oh.
Fight me, Murdoch and Son. I don't care.
Is Murdoch dead or?
He just looks like it, I think, maybe.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I am not in a good mood. I apologize. Let's focus on some fun, colorful comics starring the Amazing Spider-Man.
But yes, this amazing issue is written by Tom DeFalco still, penciled by Rick Leonardi, like I said last episode when Lilith made fun of me, he would go on the pencil Spider-Man 2099.
And let's not forget Inked by Bill Anderson.
That's right.
And my favorite, lettered by Joe Rosen.
Yep. Oh my lord! Edited by Danny
We're at
Finger.
a football game, so boo. First of all,
What? I thought you don't like football.
not really. And I'm not happy that Brady's coming to my local team. I'm not happy at all.
Oh, that's right.
So from now on, I'm a Dolphins fan. You can talk to me about Dolphins and not the Bucks.
I'll have to ask Matt Kona about that. Yeah, he lost Brady, and you're gaining him. Yes.
I mean, I can send him back, no problem. Anywho, yeah. So that's where we're at.
So Peter's filling in for the sports photographer, but he's not doing.
Peter probably doesn't know a soccer ball from a American football, so you know.
True, and it's like, Parker, quit pointing the camera at yourself.
Exactly.
King of the selfies.
It isn't good enough, Mr. Parker, because you suck as a photographer.
Oh yeah, Wendy, the sports reporter. Yes, Wendy's completely disgusted with Peter until she's like, "Oh, hey, Tony Tony Nesters, the brother of the quarterback. Oh,
Convenient.
the quarterback who loses the game. Oh Lord! But then Wendy grabs the camera and goes off to the locker room for post-game interviews.
Yeah. You tried your best. Okay, said no locker room ever lose. Just as a person who's played sports, your coach ain't telling you that. Your teammates ain't telling you.
Boy, this is a 1984 issue because I'm seeing a lot of white faces on that football field.
Oh, at Nightwing PDP, y'all. At Nightwing PDP.
I'm just saying. You see a bunch of lanky white men.
Well, to be honest, though, like college football still is lily white and all things considered for the most part.
True, but this isn't college.
Comparatively to the NFL. It is. I don't know who those names are supposed to be then. I just assumed. My fault.
Because
I don't know who they're standing for.
San Francisco Skyhawks and New York Mammoths. Oh, get it? Mammoths instead of Giants.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, so they lost. No, they're supposed to be the Giants. No wonder they lost.
I'm a Mets Jets kind of girl, but okay. The more you know, y'all. The more you know.
So yeah, Tony goes off with Wendy to the locker room, and Peter's like, "Oh, I better change. I'm due at Aunt May's for dinner." And yeah, the moment that we've talked about's coming. Yeah, Peter just hides. Peter hides in the shadows, and his nifty new costume just changes its appearance all by itself. How does it do that?
Dude, it's 2020. Why don't our normal clothes do that? Oh, God.
Seriously. How helpful would that be now?
2020 is nothing like I was promised, and I'm pissed.
Yeah, our clothes or nanite infused clothes. I mean, come on, how helpful would that be if they covered you from head to toe these days? Come on.
Exactly. Give you a little gas mask around your face.
I'm not kidding. I've considered going into work with my Scarlet Spider mask on.
Hey, somebody actually came to my job today with a gas mask, and they told him, hey, go back to your car.
So
it's like, well, found the clapper.
So Peter's swinging off, and he's thinking, "Oh, Reed Richards volunteered to analyze his costume for me. I really should get around to that one day."
It's web swinging time. Don't forget.
And then there's people
take the drink of your NyQuil, DayQuil, whatever's getting you through this flu season. Robitussin, no judgment, Benadryl.
And all those people in the fucking the after game traffic are like, who is that? And he's like, wow, I haven't felt this anonymous since I first got my powers. Oh, like, remember when I first got my powers? I went on TV and was a selfish a-hole.
Check the caption on.
What?
Yeah, we're gonna recap this part.
Yeah, and Uncle Ben got shot and killed. That's what I learned.
Why do we have to recap this? Why?
I don't know. It's 84. Maybe the Falco thinks there's one or two people who don't know the origin. I don't know.
Isn't there like a cartoon on at this point? Like, what? Has a cartoon on at this point?
If anything was on, it might have been Spider-Man and his amazing friend. But I don't know if they went in really into the Uncle Ben murder though.
Oh.
But I think it's just the theme this issue: power and responsibility.
I guess. And lots of red. They really love red. I guess it's the juxtaposition for the black, maybe, is why we have all that like red and yellow like in this issue.
Yes. Because
I don't like it.
Yes. So Ray and Tony Nestors get back to Ray's luxury apartment.
Deluxe apartment in the sky.
Oh, no. That's okay. So yeah, Ray sends Tony upstairs because he doesn't want Tony to see him taking bribes from Johnson and Farley, two of the Rose's men. That's right. The Rose was so impressed how you threw that game. You put a little bonus in your pay envelope.
Oh, my favorite line. Or your next home game will be inside the pearly gates. I was like, sick burn, bro. Nice threat. Loving that villain banter, homie. Loving it.
Yeah, because they want him to throw the next game too. He's like, I can't. The playoffs start next week.
If you're supposed to be the Giants, let's just be real.
And again, I mean, I guess I'm not a big enough sports fan, but I'm like, so what? If you're getting paid, who cares?
Well, you get bonuses and stuff for making it to the playoffs and for getting to the Super Bowl and all that stuff. Plus, for merchandising as yourself as a personal brand, kind of a big deal.
And he is screwing the rest of the team. Yeah.
We're hitting that bottle like our name's Tony Stark. All right.
He actually goes upstairs. Yeah, Tony's like, "What? You never seem to drink that much during the season." He's like, "Stay out of my business."
Wait, is this an after school special? This is an after school special.
It seems like it. But meanwhile, in Queens. What?
It says at that exact moment in Forest Hills, Queens.
Yes, Peter, May, and Nathan are cleaning up after dinner because the rest of the boarders are at. That's right, and the rest of the boarders at Radio City Music Hall. And Peter says, "Good, I have something to tell you. I dropped out of school 10 months ago. No, 10 issues ago.
He's taking a formal leave of absence. He's trying to, make it all fancy. He did it. Put a bow on the turd. I see you, Peter.
He did it the right way. He got all the paperwork filled out so he could go back eventually,
Hey, I love the asterisks, though. A few weeks ago.
If
you don't remember, see Amazing Spider-Man 243, see? They got looking extra fragile.
Yeah, May. She's like, think of all the
sacrifices. She ain't got no pearls because she ain't Martha Wayne.
And she's like, all the sacrifices you made and all the time me and Uncle Ben put in with you. You can't do this. You can't. Oh, she
won't allow it? Like, lady, you should be dead. You just shut up and mind your business.
Nathan wheels in. He's like, what have you done to your aunt? I've never seen her in such a state. Answer me. What have you done?
I swear that's the only dialogue they have for her. Wheel him in. Tell him to say the thing. Wheel him out.
Yep. So, yeah, later they show Peter swinging around. He's like, I can't believe Aunt May's reaction. I never realized how much my college education meant to her. And then he's thinking about the black cat.
Was he the first one to go to college? Is that what we're saying?
Well, I mean...
Probably.
I mean, she never had kids of her
own.
own.
His dad had to go to college, probably, right?
I don't know. I mean, do you have to go to school to be a spy?
Actually, that's prime recruiting grounds, to be honest.
True,
So
true.
that's why I always kind of just assumed, I guess.
Yeah, but how long ago was that? Because I mean, he became
But
Spider-Man in the
actually, if you think about the time frame that Spider-Man was in, actually, yeah, they recruited from the Ivies at that time, and not too many other places. So,
oh, that would have been a great line. Aunt May's like, "Oh, you're gonna become a spy like your father."
exactly.
So yeah, then he's swinging around later, thinking about Aunt May's reaction, and then how his relationship with the Black Cat isn't going great because she's hiding something from him.
The recent issues of Spectacular Spider-Man for details. Thank you, Danny.
No. Then we see the Rose's men telling him about Ray Nesters. He shall do as the Rose commands, as he's clipping roses.
How classy.
I will I will strike fear into my enemies. I shall take a a dangerous fear symbol, a rose. Oh, there was
What do you want? The Kingpin was already taken. Leave the man alone.
Yes. Is it one of those gangster things? I'm going to put the flower in your lapel, and that means you're going to die in 2 seconds.
Exactly. Sending roses to your mother for your funeral. Hey! We cracked the code on that one. It's fine.
So then the Rose, we see Ray Nesters practicing, and Coach giving him pep talk. But then when he gets home, there's another envelope.
Regards? What is he, a Lannister?
You must lose this Sunday by a score of 6 points or more. Consider the enclosed in advance. So yeah, Ray Nesters.
It's not a lot of hundreds. Like, he's a football player. Even back in the 80s, they made some bank.
Advance. It's not the actual payoff, Lilith.
That wouldn't tempt me. I'm like, you know what? I'm taking my team to the playoffs. This advance is feeling a little light. I'm going to take my chances.
Hey,
you guys missed the Rose. I'm going to take my chances.
I love he calls up that the Rose is like, how did Mr. Nesters react to our latest proposition? He suggested that you perform a certain anatomical impossibility.
How classy.
You can go bleep yourself. That's a pity. I was truly hoping he would have later reason before you and were forced to resort to. Then next, Thursday afternoon, we see Peter at the Daily Bugle.
Shouldn't it have been Wednesday afternoon, if we're all being honest? Although that is a modern thing, so maybe not.
Yes. He's talking to Betty. Is Robbie in? Yeah.
What
Peter, you're
Betty. Look at them legs.
That home wrecker. So basically, Robbie gives him a talk. Your work's been slipping lately. You're capable of better stuff. Better buckle down.
Tighten up.
Because he's the new editor-in-chief after Jonah retired because everyone found out about him, Scorpion.
You're not the only freelancer in town.
Oh, but then Wendy shows up.
Yikes.
She's like, I need Wendy, who we never see again.
And we never saw her again.
I mean, plot device walks up. She's like, yes, I got an interview with, Tony helped me get an interview with Ray. I figured I owed you. I need a photographer. And Betty, especially since all our other photographers are out on assignment.
He don't care. He wants some money.
He needs paid.
Gotta make that paper.
So then, so they call ahead to make sure everything's ready. Tony's like, oh, yeah, Ray will be home any second. But then there's a doorbell rings. Oh, someone's at the door. Who could that be? Because meanwhile, after practice, Ray's thinking about his football career and how did it get so out of control. Used to be his dream. Where did it all go wrong? The injuries, the losing seasons.
Oh, look at this kid Snaggletooth.
He was little. And he's thinking, I gotta get home. The kid's waiting for me. But he gets home. What? Tony, where are you? There's a note with a single black rose. We have the boy. Let's talk.
Yikes. He's like, well, I'd be like, well, keep the kid. I don't care.
Well, I think it's his brother. I mean, he would care a little bit.
Yeah, I don't care. It ain't me. I don't care.
I know how much you hate Offspring, but I think that's his actual brother.
Just saying, you know.
Yeah,
Were they roommates? Were they twins? Because,
Well,
I mean.
Well, even if he was as cold as you and was willing to sacrifice his brother, if that didn't work, they'd be back next week to break his legs or something, right?
That's next week. I'm out of town. That's giving me just enough time.
So Ray runs out as Peter and Wendy get there, and they're like, "Oh, look,
Wendy have on. What does she think she is? Paddington Bear? Like, come on.
what with the coat?"
And the boots and the whatnots.
Well, again, how much thought are you going to put into her outfit? She's only going to appear once.
I didn't know that.
All right. Well, I don't know. I mean, how often do we do a sports, a special sports episode of Spider-Man? Come on.
It was the 80s.
So then,
I would assume.
yes. So Wendy's like, "Where did Peter go?" And we see as Ray takes off the horse. Yes, he's followed by Spider-Man, whose costume changed its appearance as he climbed down the building.
You know what? Why did he never regular suit? He knows Reed Richards. Like, he should have that for his normal suit. Like now in 2020, don't you think?
Like nanites and stuff. Yeah, I mean, Peter can invent that himself. I mean, remember the slot run? He was inventing. If he has the tech, he can do it.
He's kind of a dummy, right?
If he has the money and the tech, he can usually do it. Yeah, but again, isn't Spider-Man supposed to be the everyman? So it's like, I don't know.
Is he though now at this point? I mean, I just want to see his smarts on display. I miss it so much.
I like it. I like when they show his smarts, but I didn't like him being like another Tony Stark.
Yeah, that's gone too far. Because let's be honest,
But anyway,
that family tree.
Yeah. So anyway, Ray gets to it. An abandoned warehouse, of course.
Well, it is New York in the 80s, so that's believable.
Yes, tries to blitz him like a linebacker, but then the Rose is like, "Oh, look, Raven brought a gun. I want my kid brother now. He is unharmed."
You brought a gun to a goon fight? Oh, silly boy.
But then he's distracted when he sees they told his brother, "Ray, they say you've been dumping games. Tell them they're lying. Say it ain't so." He's like, "Aye." And one of the guys sneaks up behind Ray. You see Spider-Man comes crashing through the window because he's seen enough to piece it together. And again, no one knows who he is. The goons are like, "Who is that creep?" The Rose, his identity is unimportant. Stop him.
Unimportant? Me?
I love it. Yeah, he's just like tap dancing through the goons and punching them all out. It's called webbing. So like, what's that gun got in the back of his hand? So he's just marching through the goons.
He's talking about trademarks. Really? Yeah, that could help if you need the money.
Yeah, but he's
and then of course he's gotta whip out his selfie-o-matic.
Oh yeah, he's like, I gotta flip around and do fancy moves because they gotta put on a show for the good old automatic camera because
King of the South.
Well, Robbie said he needed something better, so hey. So the Bray's like, "Oh hey, well that guy's got him distracted."
This is like levels of meta, by the way.
What?
Just saying, that's a little Deadpool meta right there for you. It's like, yeah, make some money. Let me do my best.
Money. So Ray's like, "Let's get out of here," and his brother's like, How could you turn your back on the game?" I'd be like, "Can you shut up till we get out of here? Till we're safe?" Right. So yeah, Spider-Man's still going through the goons, and one actually manages to sneak up on him and get a punch in.
Where's that spider sense?
I mean,
It's on vacation.
that's pretty good. Eh? Can't hit. Well, maybe maybe it's something with the costume. It isn't easy to hit a guy who can move as fast as I can. Remind me to get the correct spelling on your name later. I want to record it for posterity.
Looking for a little overtime. Yikes.
Then he sees the Rose trying to get away. He's like, I hope you weren't planning to leave the dance yet. Stay back. I have no wish to engage you in physical combat. I employ underlings for such matters.
I feel you, Rose. I feel you. We're classy people. We ain't got time to get our hands dirty. I agree.
He is a fancy man.
I mean, he does have a fedora proper, so you know.
I love how he's like, I employ underlings for that. He's like, really? I don't think you're getting your money's worth. Your goons fall down every time I hit them. But oh look, Rose throws a smoke bomb, but the costume seems to be be a filter against it. So Rose is shooting. We see more goons going after Spider-Man. And then Ray's all like in the Rose's face, you ruined my life, you ruined everything. And Rose is like, I'm hardly to blame for your current situation. You're an adult. No one forced you into anything. You made your own decisions.
He's not wrong.
I know. He's right. So he lobs another grenade or whatever, knocks over some packing crates that are going to crush Ray until Spider-Man has to throw himself on top of them. Because he hurts his back, but it worked. The Rose got away. But yeah, Ray's brother saying, what are you going to do about the Rose? He'll never leave you alone. You must know that. He's like, don't worry, there's one way to get him off our backs. So, yeah.
Time to write a beautiful piece by Ben Urich.
Yep, Nestor's quits, confesses ties to organized crime.
It's like, what is this, The Last Boy Scout?
Yeah.
Is it that movie? Yeah.
I think so, yeah. You know, so her and Peter talking. Yeah, I know. She's like, I can't believe like a man like Ray Nestor could portray the sport like that. It's a real shame. He had so much talent, so much potential. When you think of all the sacrifices he must have made over the years, you really had to wonder. Okay, I'm hitting you over the head right now. How could anyone?
Bill hurts, Philip. Stop it.
How could anyone?
The piano on me here. Come on.
How could anyone flesh their future away like that? What a waste of a perfectly good life. Aunt May, is that you?
And that's why we never saw her again, because secretly Aunt May can shapeshift.
Aunt May's a Skrull. That's why all those her old boyfriends and husbands die.
Exactly. Nobody can know her secret.
Oh,
I got a D.
That's right. They discover her secret. She awesome. Schnick bub.
Thanos.
All right. So, in our second issue is, like I said, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. I love those long titles. Number 91.
Yeah.
Spider-Man and Black Cat versus the Blob. An X-Men villain, for those of you who don't know. So, page 1, if it wasn't for bad luck. Ooh, written and drawn by Al Milgrom. Fancy.
What a good egg that kid is. Has been a kid in a long time, but it's fine.
And then
acting like I'm 1,000 years old.
That's right, old lady. Then on the first page, it looks like Spider-Man's chasing the Black Cat. She's like, no, keep away from me. You can escape me, Black Cat.
We match! I did this so we could match!
I did it for you!
He wants to be one of those couples.
Oh. She's like,
Loopy.
She's like, you came out of nowhere wearing a new costume. Are you really the man I love?
Wow.
So he falls up. So he shows off some fancy moves. Like, could anyone else do this or this or this? And then she's like, wait a minute. He's hugging me. Did the good, bad luck powers the Kingpin give me wear off so quickly? See Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man 89. I guess she's figuring out, oh, it must only work if someone's trying to do me harm. Spider-Man don't mean harm, he means the opposite of harm.
Yeah.
Thought you were gonna get away with it this week, people, but no, because Spider-Man recaps where he got the new costume. So
Bazinga!
We get the whole story about being taking the battle world and
Bazinga!
Coming back with Kirk Connors, and of course we get the editor's notes for Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars. And they show, Lilith's favorite scene yet again, because we got it in Amazing Spider-Man last week, Marvel Team Up last week, and now in Spectacular Spider-Man. When Peter gets home and starts jumping for joy, Yahoo! See Amazing too,
Yeah.
or last episode. So Peter's like thinking, I did some thinking, and thinking we could all die at any time. I had no right to tell you how to live your life, and not to put yourself in danger. So I respect your right to risk your life if you want to, but I don't have to like it. So that's when they kiss and make up, and she's like, "Hey, I can't find the seam on your mask. Where?" And the mask just opens up.
And that's your first sign to run. Just saying.
And he's like, it's so much more convenient for kissing and eating kinds of stuff.
I thought you were going to go with the boing sound, but okay. That works too.
Both work. Oh, look, there's an order form in here. How many packs? You have to buy 3 packs of Oreos. It looks like you got a reprint of Amazing Fantasy 15, but I see that Marvel Tales on there. I see you.
Can't fool me, Oreos.
But meanwhile, while Peter and Black Cat are doing other things, where is this? Uptown at Madison Square Garden, where the circus was, I guess. We see an ample American arrive in an overcoat. Where's Gunther? In the main tent. Ain't nobody be able to get near him for days. And as we see, as the ample American tries to walk into the tent, his clothes get shredded, and underneath we see the Blob. That's right, his mutant power.
Paging Charlie Esser.
Does he like the Blob?
I thought he did.
I'll have to ask him tomorrow.
Mentioned it a couple times, so I just assumed.
But yes, the Blob is his mutant power is he's an ample American who can't be moved unless he wants to be moved. But we see Gunther, or I believe his name is Eunice.
Yikes.
Eunice.
I'd be upset too.
They don't say it here, but I believe the whole thing is Eunice the Untouchable, which is the name Lil dances under. Oh! So yes, we see nothing's holding up the tent except Eunice's power, because he's like, Fred, you've come. We thought my power was gone, smashed by the Hulk. How can Hulk smash your power? It doesn't work that way.
Maybe does. Don't tell him about how his body works, Philip. Don't be mansplaining.
That's true, but yes, the Hulk smashed him in Marvel Fanfare number 7. His power is to propel things from his body. He's like, he's keeping the whole tent up. He's like, that's not the worst of it. I haven't eaten in days. No one can get any food to me, and I can't seem to catch my breath. And Blob says, I was with the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, but when I heard you were in trouble, I came running. I'll help you somehow. But then Eunice collapses, falls to the ground, and no, he's dead. My only friend is dead. That's when the Blob gives you his real name. Fred J. Dukes has a friend. Let's kill him. That's what they said. I'll make them pay, all of them.
Look at those tears.
I know. While nearby, the rays of the setting sun filtering through the slats of a half-drawn Venetian blind help rouse a certain Peter Parker.
Okay. Hey, this lady runs a clean house, by the way.
Yep. He's like, I don't know what's more tiring, saving the universe or messing around on the rooftops with the black cat. But yeah, he puts the symbiote on and it becomes street clothes. And yeah, Miss Muggins. I run a clean house here. I don't want that weird chickie of yours sneaking into your apartment. The one with the mask and the black silk long johns. Again, it's like, well, if he pays his rent, he's not doing anything illegal. How can she tell him?
Well, if it's a boarding house, they do have certain, like boarding rooms and stuff. They do have rules that when you sign your lease and stuff, about like no overnight company, no PDAs in like the public, areas.
Thinks Felicia is a prostitute or something.
I mean,
ouch.
Mrs. Muggins! That's Mrs. Muggins, not me!
Oh, I thought you were saying you could see where she was coming from.
Out of the gooch! Yikes. No! That's not gonna be my hashtag. I refuse. I need it bigger. Whoa.
Whatever your hashtag.
Oh, look at this Daily Bugle drawing.
What, the rectangle?
Yeah.
And then because he goes to the Daily Bugle. He's like, I'm gonna have a talk about. He's thinking he has to have a talk with the Black Cat. She can't let Miss Muggins see her because he's trying to keep a secret identity. But then he comes looking for Joe Robertson again. He's like, oh, look who just breezed in. They're all like, hey, how long you been stringing along that Black Cat cutie? She came looking for you. When he was on Battleworld. If Spider-Man finds out you're trying to beat his time, you could be in trouble, Parker. Thruple.
As you do.
Parker, do you take the pictures of Spider-Man and Black Cat?
Whoa.
So once again, we see Peter. He's talking to Betty, and he's waiting for Joe. He's hoping I hope you had an assignment for me. And Joe's like, no, I had to get them to other photographers. You just disappeared off the face of the earth. Remember Battleworld? You were lucky that sports department had that football assignment lying around the other day. The issue we just talked about.
Please, exactly. Like, yes, buy all our books.
Freelancers have to be accessible. He tells him he's busy, but come back. I'll call you if I can reach you. Peter's like, man, why is he being mean to me? Doesn't he know he's one of the missing heroes? But then Peter thinks he has to call Aunt May because of what happened when she freaked out on him about dropping out of school. Again, the issue we just talked about. She was so angry at me. But I'm sure she's gotten over it by now. Yeah, okay. Nathan, is that you? I'd like to speak to my aunt, please. Nathan's like, oh, is she in? May, absolutely not. Nathan's like, no, she's not shopping. Yeah, I see. Goodbye. He hangs up his big, heavy landline. But Peter heard Aunt May talking in the background. I can't believe she's being so stumped about this. I know my education means a lot to her, but it's not like she was paying for it or anything. And as if the good news, if this parade of good news couldn't get any worse, there's a knock at the door. Why, Flash Thompson?
If I was you, I wouldn't want to date me neither.
If I was you, I wouldn't want to open the door neither. Peter, I hope you don't mind me coming by this late. Not at all. I could use some company about now. Things have been going a little rough for me today. Flash's like, tell me about it. So is my life. And Peter's like, what about your girlfriend, Shashawn? She's part of the problem. After that crazy adventure that brought her over here from Vietnam, she and I started dating. Then we got more and more serious, spending all of our time together. Everything was fine at first, but then she began changing. She used to be the ideal woman, sweet, loving, supportive, but she started taking those adult education classes and getting out on her.
Oh, no! She wants to get an education! Oh, no!
I wanted a stupid mail order bride, and she actually wants to be a real human being. Oh, no, Peter, what am I going to do?
Get it, Flash! Hey, you're gonna get copyright strike. Knock it off.
Back when I was captain of the high school football team, chicks used to do whatever I wanted. Keep their mouth shut. And Peter's like, Flash, there's no secret. You just have to. And then he sees the black cat at the window. Good grief. My window, the black cat. Can't let Flash see her. Or else they'll start dating earlier than they did before.
Wow.
So Peter rushes him out the door. Says, oh, look, I just remembered an important appointment. He's like, really, Flash? I'll call you. I'm sorry about this. Gotta go. And he slams the door. Then Flash is all like, I get it. You let me think I was your friend, but now you're laughing at me behind my back. I thought you were a creep in high school, but I guess you're always a creep. I'll show you and Shashawn too. I'll show you all. The whole world.
Whatever that means.
While back in Peter's apartment, he opens the window. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I've told you time and again. You can't just come up the side of the building. Well, there really isn't any connection between me and that Parker person. It's my spider I'm interested in. She's not hot for him unless he's wearing a mask.
What the reverse Batman Catwoman relationship is this?
She's not hot for him unless he's wearing a mask. Who is she? You?
She's Bruce Wayne apparently.
Come on, Cat. I am Spider-Man. Shh. She's like, I have a good reason for coming back.
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it.
Don't remind me. I had a good reason for coming by. There's an emergency. Can't wait. You must change the Spider-Man. So he makes the costume change. You want Spider-Man? You got him. Courtesy of my new convertible Spidey duds. Then as they're up on the rooftops, what's the emergency? He's not far from here. Man, like I've never seen before. He's on a rampage. In his underwear. There he is. Pete, the Blob, I've heard of him. Fought the X-Men a couple of times, but there seems to be no purpose in his rampage. He's just going berserk. So
he wants his damn toilet paper and his hand sanitizer.
Oh, too soon. Too soon. But so Pete says, I'm gonna tackle him, you stay here. She's like, wait, we can do it together. She's like, we can use teamwork. He's like, a part of teamwork is having a backup when you need one. And he's like, here, take this, and hands her the camera. Yep, I'm a freelance photographer and a starving one at that. So he tells her to take some pictures. Be sure and get my best side now, sweetheart.
It's kind of a thing, by the way, for a few issues, them taking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it? I feel like it's happening. Yeah, okay.
So Peter tackles the Blob with a shlop. All you hero types are always picking on me. You never could knock me down if I'd planned it myself. I don't know what you're moaning about, Slim. Say they want to tell you.
I hate that. That ball guy curly. Just the worst.
So Spider-Man tries to punch him, but he gets his fist stuck in. My arm, it's stuck. I gotta pull loose. It was easy to tighten up my muscles and hold you. I feel like I'm losing a fight with the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Body shaming. The 80s, the worst.
I know. But then in the shadows, a mysterious figure watching in the shadows, and no, this isn't the Clone Saga.
Easter eggs like a million years before.
See a mysterious figure who's looking for some answers, but we'll get there in the next couple of weeks. Oh, Lord. Get ready for this one, people. Spider-Man, still stuck in the blob, says, "Look, pal, like the baker said to the instant bread, I don't need this." With a K. Ugh.
Okay. And that was your dad's joke break of the issue. Moving on.
So Blob lets him go, but then grabs his wrist and says, "Yock it up while you can, Spider-Man. You're messing with a guy who nearly fought the Hulk to a standstill." And Felicia's not subtle about it at all. She's like, "No, that fat creep is torturing my spider. I'll ditch the camera and help my lover out." Surprise chunk style. And the cat just like tries to choke Blob out with a rope, and he's like, "Nice try, chickie, but it won't wash. My mutant power makes it almost impossible for me to be hurt. I can barely feel that little thread of yours." But as he tries to reach behind him to grab her, her bad luck power makes him fall on his back. You guys will pay for this. I'm just gonna make everyone pay. But Spider-Man, thanks for the assist, but I'll handle it from here. And then the Blob breaks off a light pole and starts swinging it. Black Cat jumps back on the Blob. "I'll save you." And Blob crashes through the wall, Kool-Aid style, because Black Cat's thinking if he tries to hurt me, he's going to cause himself bad luck. Because Blob breaks through to the kitchen of some restaurant and gets scalded by hot soup.
Oh, poor baby.
Oh my Lord, he still has a carrot on his shoulder. "All right, children, say it take more than hot soup to slow down the Blob. Now I'm going to grind you into the main course." Sheesh, what does it take? What does it take to stop this guy? He may look like a refugee from Weight Watchers, but he's nearly as unbeatable as the Juggernaut.
What is all this fat shaming? What is it?
I've been like, "It's my mutant power."
Exactly. I'm just big boned.
Isn't it? I mean, it's part of his mutant power, so isn't that like kind of like racist? It's like, look at your mutant power.
It's something.
But the Blob ain't any better. "Yeah, what are you gonna do to save yourself, sweets?" But as he moves toward them, he like makes a crater in the street and falls down. "I can't believe it. The asphalt just gave way."
I could believe it. It's called a plot hole.
Oh, nice. "With your looks and your such antisocial behavior, how do you expect to make any friends, Blobby?" Yeah, he's like, "Friends, I had a friend. Here he comes, get ready. He was my only friend in the whole world, and now he's dead. No more fighting." So the Blob
is determined to have us get a copyright strike. It's fine.
But so Blob walks in the middle of the road, and he's like,
"Hey, 007, never say never again."
"Ooh, Ooh, there's a Popeyes. And some generic cola. Swiss Army knives. But yeah, the Blob walks into the middle of the street and just sits down, blocks all kinds of traffic. He's just sitting there, like, crying. Oh, right in the middle of Times Square, just in time for morning rush hour. And Peter's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was so overprotective, Cat. Forgive me." And she's like, "Yeah." And then she's thinking, maybe I should tell him about my new powers. But how would he react if he knew I got them from his enemy, the kingpin of crime? What?
That's a mouthful.
That's what she said.
Suck it. Whoa! This is not Wayne's World. Careful, you use those drops back to back there, homie.
At least one time. That's when Captain Gene DeWolf shows up. Oh, we gotta do the death. We have to do the death of Gene DeWolf someday.
Someday.
It's a Peter David story. You know it's good. You know it's a good story, dumbass. It's Peter David.
I'm not Charlie. I don't need that.
Whoa,
I deserve that.
I just throw that term out in general whenever I say Peter David anymore. So the wolf's like, "Where's the Blob?" They're like, "Oh, he's out in the middle of the street." She's like, "Can you help us?" "Wait, come back, help us move him." And Spider-Man's like, "No, we stopped him. Traffic's your problem." So yeah, we just see traffic all backed up as the Blob's crying.
Get out of the way, shit, you.
What?
Yeah, there's there's somebody cursing. They're like talking about you pull over, move it or lose it. I was like, oh yeah, it makes me feel like I'm right back in New York. Awesome.
That's right. As Black Cat and Spider-Man swing off. But in the next issue of Spectacular, Beer, Spidey, and the Black Cat face a mysterious new foe, the Answer. Oh.
Sorry, another DC reference. I'm sorry.
But hey, guess what? We got some Ray feedback. You know your friend Ray from Infinite and Midnight Podcast.
No, that's my co-host on Comic Capers. What are you talking about?
That's right. Yes, check out episode 76, first week of April. And also check next.
Place Philip. I'm sorry.
What? I know. Well, I'm replacing Kim. He's replacing you next week right here on Ultimate Spider-Cast as him and I and Mr. Macona talk some Scarlet Spider.
Sausage Party!
That's right. Oh, that's what I was going to say. The unofficial name now is like the Scarlet Spider Sausage Party.
Please don't market it that way.
I won't.
It's fine having a sausage fest.
Let's see, Ray, we're fighting.
You gotta get Ray to say that.
What? Oh, it's fun having a sausage fest. Oh, he will, guys. I swear, every time he messages me now, he types at least one out of the gooch.
I'm like the worst influence ever.
I know your internet. Yeah, you're corrupting people halfway around the world, Lilith Hellfire.
Yes, my web of influence. Boom.
The evil plan has worked. But anyway, here's our boyfriend Ray from Into the Night and Moon Knight podcast and Last Sons of Krypton and Superman podcast. And like I said, he'll be here next week and every last Tuesday of the month for Scarlet Spider Talk. I won't say sausage fest. All right. So here's Ray to talk about these issues. Take it away, Ray. Out of the gooch.
Hello, Phil and Lilith. This is Ray, just giving some thoughts on the two issues that you guys are reviewing, no doubt, in this episode. Amazing Spider-Man 253 and Spectacular Spider-Man 91. Anyway, yeah, I read these last night. I thought these were pretty good. First off, Amazing Spider-Man 253, Introduction to the Rose. From DeFalco, a pretty solid, albeit kind of standard story, but I thought it was told quite well. Not obviously being too clued into the NFL or gridiron, American football in general. Just a tale of corruption with like a star player, and the pressures, all very kind of similar to battling Jack Murdoch and his boxing for the origins of Daredevil. But still, I found it an entertaining enough story. I enjoyed largely the script, although I found it was really funny. Ray Nesters, is it? Sorry, I'm just off the top of my head.
Yep.
He seemed to always, I don't know if you guys thought of it, he seemed to always trail off when he was talking. Like there were like 3 or 4 instances throughout the issue where he kind of says something and then he kind of looks into the distance or looks introspectively and kind of mutters something really softly.
Well, Ray, he had a lot of troubles
so I
in
thought
his life.
that was a little too obvious because it happened, I think, one too many times. The Rose was interesting enough, but I mean, didn't really put much of a dent in I guess you'd say Spider-Man's workout. Yeah, he didn't have too much trouble there. Is it Bob Nesters, the brother of Ray, a little out of sorts, I think, when he's in amongst the criminals towards the end in the final scene, and he's kind of still, you can't believe this betrayal that Ray, his brother, has done by fixing matches. I agree with Ray. It's really not the time nor the place to be doing that when there are criminals kind of after you, and he's just been kidnapped. So
There's
I think
shady guys named Ray.
Out of place. But overall, I thought it was an enjoyable enough issue, and obviously a little bit of Black Cat as well. And that kind of leads into Spectacular Spider-Man 91. Really cool as well, seeing Black Cat again. I like the use of, I don't know much about this thing about Kingpin giving her luck powers, and that's quite interesting. I don't know if you guys know that and how that, and which issues I guess covered that. But I liked that her luck powers were in full use. It was good to see the Blob. I love the Blob as a villain. And one big thing for this though, geez, they kind of glossed over the pain and suffering that the Blob, Fred Dukes, was undergoing. I mean, he lost a friend. He ends up crying in the middle of the street. Spiny,
in his underwear.
His job done. And Gina Wolf comes in. Yeah, it's your problem now because of the traffic. But the poor fella. I mean, I think that's just, they're happy that he stopped his rampage. But I don't know. I felt some empathy for the Blob. And I felt that they maybe should have consoled him or understood it a bit more. But anyway, that was fun to see. I don't know much about his friend, the floating friend that kind of died. But yeah, anytime that you punch the Blob in the gut and your fist gets sunk in the folds of fat, that's always fun. Anyway, as always, I'm going to look forward to hearing what you guys think. I hope you both enjoyed it. If anything, I'd say, it's hard. I'd say I enjoyed them equally. I was about to say I enjoyed Amazing Spider-Man first, but no, I think I enjoyed Spectacular just as much because of the fun action with the Blob. But keen to hear your thoughts. And keep it going. The whip!
Doesn't Ray just like make
With our platonic podcast.
what?
Ray is our platonic life podcast mate.
That's right, Mike. That's right. But no, doesn't he make you realize what a horrible human beings we are? Because we're just like sitting there like, look at that fat guy crying in the middle of the street, and Ray's just like, don't you feel bad for him? His friend just died.
We didn't know him.
But no, he was saying about the Blob. Oh, it's not on our list, but one day we're gonna have to cover that issue with the Grey Hulk where he's fighting Freedom Force and like Blob's there, and he basically calls Blob John Goodman.
Ouch! Like burn on so many levels.
Well, basically just said how does he put it? He's like, oh, aren't you the guy who plays Roseanne Barr's husband on TV or something? It's just like, whoa.
Pow! Shots fired.
But
But no, I actually like the spectacular issue a little bit more. Cause action, and I'm like, I do sports, but did we need that in a Spider-Man book just to draw the parallels of him throwing his life away for not finishing his education? That was a really long-winded way to do it.
gotta hit you over the head, Lilith Hellfire.
Bro, I've got a headache from all those angels dropping.
I know. Oh, but I mean, yeah, I liked it. I mean, yeah, last Amazing Spider-Man and this one were kind of slower. I like the story better in Spectacular this time, but I like the art, I think, better in Amazing.
Oh yeah, no, hands down, no doubt.
That's right.
But no, I will give the Amazing issue a B minus, and I'll give Spectacular a B plus.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm not gonna argue that this time.
Oh,
You're right.
but definitely something to have in your if you ever come across it, definitely buy it.
Yes. All right.
I
So,
like Black Cat in Spectacular. I like Black Cat in Spectacular right now. I do. I wish they would go back to those bad luck powers. I do. But then you have like Domino and a couple of other, people that kind of have that.
and I
That
think,
do it a little bit better, to be honest. Not so convoluted.
yeah, and I think they're painting her more like Catwoman these days, where it's like she's like using her brain.
Yeah. Some woman has to. Some woman superhero has to. And if it has to be Felicia, fine.
Hello, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
All right. Anything else?
Nope. We can get out of here.
All right, everyone. So, like I said, come back next time for Macona, another episode of Scarlet Spider.
Yeah, whatever. Ben Reilly, Spider-Man's clone. He's the guy. He's got a sweatshirt. Yeah, that's how you know he's different, and he's a blonde hair.
Yes, we'll be covering Spider-Man: The Lost Years, issues 1 through 3, and then come back in 2 weeks, the beginning of April, as we cover 4 issues: Amazing Spider-Man 254, Spectacular Spider-Man 92, and Marvel Team Up 142 and 143. Oh, there's a big fight in Amazing 254, Lilith. Do you remember who it is?
No, who is it?
Your buddy Jack-O-Lantern, a.k.a. Mackindale.
Oh, no! You're going to do a Mackindale without me! Damn it!
What? No, you're here. You're here, buddy.
That's
What?
I'm sitting in my clone.
Hey, Ray. Hey, Ray, read up on Amazing 254.
Yes.
Oh, come on. You want to see you don't want to see Pete smack around Mackindale? He's not Hobgoblin yet.
I do.
This is early.
Of course I do. I live for it.
All right. Oh, but yeah, I was gonna say that week when next week when Ultimate or we talk Scarlet Spider, I said that's a big gray week because that's the same week your Black Widow episode's gonna drop.
Nice.
So
Which sad thing postponed indefinitely.
What?
Isn't Black Widow postponed?
Yeah. They haven't set a date yet. They should just put it on Disney Plus.
Pay-per-view, baby.
What? They're on pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view. It's still a thing.
Yeah, because that's what they're doing with Trolls 2. The same day it was supposed to be in theaters. I think they're putting it to buy on pay-per-view. Or on
Trolls 2.
Well, yeah, my wife and son would like to see it, because my son is 7 and my wife loves Justin Timberlake. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Lil's like, there's no Backstreet Boys in it.
Exactly. Go watch This Is It. The end.
This is it, the end. So yes, send your thoughts to on all this Spider-Man stuff to capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Even your thoughts on Ray's takeover of Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks next week, because he'll be on Spider-Cast, he'll be on Comic Capers with Lilith, and I'm sure he'll have feedback for Quantum Zone. So he'll basically be on every day next week on Sidekicks, except for that pesky Mondays when the character he dares not name is on. So yes, keeping it from a Ray, if you send in feedback for the Batman, email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-capes. And remember to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, all of it, all in one convenient place. That's Linktree. That's linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And remember to support the sponsors. Tweaked Audio, Hunt to Killer, Pod Life the Book, now in digital and paperback. And remember, when you go buy your books, buy your TP, buy your hand sanitizer, buy your gas masks on Amazon, all of it, use the Southgate Media Group link, because the stores are closed. So yes, use the Southgate Media Group link. It won't affect you at all, but it will send money to Master Doom to help him bring you such fine quality programming as the Ultimate Spider-Cast. And stay tuned for Capes and Lunatics episode 150. Well, by the time you listen to this, will it be out? I don't know. But check out Capes and Lunatics episode 150. It's late because Master Doom is appearing.
God, I have to be on my best behavior now. Damn it.
No. Oh, please. Like, he's any better than us. Anyway, Lilith Hellfire, where can people get a hold of you?
If you nerds were offended by anything that I have said today, suck it. or otherwise, you can find me on the internet via Twitter at Lilith Hellfire or Instagram at Lilith Hellfire69. Hello, Megan. Duh.
I love Ray. Who's Megan?
Oh, my sweet summer child.
Let
me tell you about the best show ever. My sweet summer child.
He is such a Marvel guy. All right. Yeah, watch Young Justice, Ray. It's good. Anyway. So yes, next week's more Scarlet Spider talk. Scarlet Spider, who just recently appeared in Conan, Battle for the Serpent Crown #2, along with Black
Charlie to listen, I think.
Maybe we'll talk to you tomorrow. Then come back in April and we'll more Black Costume. But until then, swing on back.